Hi, I'm Enda Murray, the director of the Irish Film Festival. I'm delighted to be joined tonight by Dave Minogue, director and screenwriter of Poster Boys. Dave, you're very welcome, and congratulations on a wonderful film. Can you tell us a bit about how the project came together?
The idea for the film came about when I went home to vote for the to repeal the Eighth Amendment here, and I was hanging out with my nephew afterwards, and we were watching Spider-Man and just having the crack, and I kind of realized that we have a relationship that is probably very typical of our generation of uncle nephew kind of things, but I didn't really know how that's defined. It's not a typical relationship for everyone to have an uncle and to have, like, we're friends. Me and Ryan are friends, so I just thought it was a special type of relationship, and the idea for the film kind of came from that, and then it just kind of haunted me for a while, and I must have been talking about it a lot because people kept telling me to either do it or stop talking about it, and then someone bet me that I couldn't do it before the end of the summer, and this is at the Galway Film Festival, so mid-July, and the bet was that if I wrote it and had it finished, produced by the end of the summer, he would do all my post-production for free because he owned the post house, Owen McKenna. So nothing gets me going like telling me I can't do anything. So I went and got it done, and yeah, that's how the whole film came about.
Hey, so is Ryan a relation of yours then?
Yeah, he's my little sister's son. He was 10 at the time. He's going on 13 now.
Okay, so Ryan, who is the nephew in the film, is actually your nephew.
Yeah. He was the first. I got his permission to go ahead before I actually went and did it. It's like, if he doesn't do it, there's no point in doing this.
He was fantastic. I was going to ask you about your audition process and how did you find this guy? He's fantastic.
He's a natural charmer. Like, put him in a room and he'll look for the audience. Like, it's I'm just glad I get a chance to speak without him, because if he was here now, he'd be stealing this talk.
How difficult is it to get a feature made?
It's incredibly difficult. It's something I'm now really realizing I underestimated. I think if I had known the amount of work that would be needed back then, I probably would have sat a bit longer on that bet and been like, I don't think this is a good idea. It's tough. It's an endurance test, physically and mentally, and then morality wise as well, because you don't make these things in a vacuum. You need to keep people interested in them too, especially when you don't have much money. Like, we had virtually nothing to make this. It was made on 45,000, so it was a struggle, and like, we're selling it now. Like, this is the proof, this point now, like, and this is thankfully it's gone down well with distributors and stuff, and there's interest in it, but it's not easy, and we definitely underestimated it.
And had you written comedy before?
Yeah, I've like, I love comedy, and when I first started out, when I got out of college and stuff, I kind of got lucky in that I got an RT Storyland, which is like an online web series that they commission every year, called Rent a Friend. And on the back of that, I made a couple of pilots, and I thought it was going to be pretty simple from there, but it's not. It's not at all. So that's how I ended up working in production, which ultimately is how I was able to make a feature on my own. Well, not on my own, but like without institutional support or without a large crew. Is the years in production and working in that respect.
So you've mentioned a little bit about the challenges. What was the most enjoyable thing about making the film?
Yeah, like it's hard to know, because like, I have a different perspective, because I'm trying to hold it together the whole time. I'm the Liz Lemon, like, dealing with all the craziness and trying to babysit while while shooting in a moving camper van with and organize lunches and things like that. So it was quite stressful for most of the time. But I think the overriding thing that that I took from it is like there's a constant and persistent affirmation of, you know, the humanity in other people. Like this wasn't made because, you know, people saw green, like, you know, they saw a good idea and they saw something that they wanted to be part of, and that's persistently what got us through it, from like the music to locations to the cast to the crew. That's constantly what it is. It's just the goodwill of friends and family and strangers.
Um, you mentioned music. You had a Dark Doom. Am I right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's great. Yeah, they were very kind to us and helped us out. But well, we put that in that moment, and I was like, yeah, we need this song. We have to figure out how to get this song somehow. It was amazing. It was either that or the A-Team music.
Are you a Horslips fan?
Absolutely, yeah. We were looking through their catalog, and like Dark Doom is obviously the go-to one, but it was, yeah, there was a few options there, but we just had to go with Dark Doom because there's a load of people that have never heard Dark Doom. We need to bring it to them, bring the Horslips.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tell us how you found your lead actor.
Trev O'Connell.
Yeah.
Me and Trev are old friends. One of the sitcom pilots I made years ago, Trev was one of the co-stars in it, and we just hit it off. Like we were kind of kindred spirits and good drinking buddies. And it was a case of like where we'd written it and we were trying to figure out who to put in the lead, and there was a few people and they were considering it. And then I kind of remembered what type of production this was, and I was like, no, this is going to be like an all hands on deck, and I need someone I can trust with saying, this location fell through, I need you just to be cool for a second and look after this 10-year-old boy for half an hour while I figure this out. And then like Trev has like an amazing comedic ability, and he's very good with dialogue as well. And it was like, the minute I thought of Trev, it was like, this is our guy, like I just have to do it. So I rang him up for him. He's based in Scotland. I was like, look, we're working on this thing. Any chance you'd come over and help us out? And he called back half an hour later and he's like, yeah, I'm on the way. and then he came over. I don't think he knew what he was letting himself into either.
And what about Keith Duffy? How did you get Keith Duffy involved?
Oh, there was one ridiculous moment where I where I was emailing Keith Duffy's agent asking like what Pierce Brosnan's availability was like, and if Keith Duffy was available in the same email. And he took a while to get back to me with like, no, I know his agent well enough for him to be like, cop on there, don't be ridiculous. But then I was like, yeah, Keith would be great. So I rang up Tireland, which is Keith's tire company here, and 20 minutes later I got a text from Keith saying, how are you, buddy? What's going on? And yeah, he saw the we put together a little pitch trailer and sent it to him, which is not that dissimilar to the trailer for the festivals. But yeah, he loved it. And he knew Trev from years because Trev used to work as a stage manager in Pantos. So he'd known Trev, and he just jumped on. He was great.
The film is said it starts off in Kilkenny. Was there a particular reason why it starts off in Kilkenny?
Yeah, well, I'm from Kilkenny, and my parents' house became the studio base. It became the accommodation. It became like 12 different locations. All the interior campers were done in my parents' driveway. So we and like I know Kilkenny very well, so we were able to utilize Thomastown in Kilkenny was utilized as a lot of city townscapes for throughout Ireland. Like, so we'd go and get a little laneway or a little nook in a corner here, and that was suddenly Dingle, and then we'd go and do the exterior some other day. So yeah, just went just go where what you know.
It's a very pretty town. I used to visit with the army, believe it or not, with the FCA many years ago, and it is a beautiful place. I was back there last year, but it is. I've always been jealous of Kilkenny because they've kept the old street plan, and years ago when other places were building up, Kilkenny was hanging on to it, and now it's just such a beautiful place to go to. It really is.
Yeah, I think when you're from a place like that and you grow up there, and that's your walk to school, and that's your walk to your part-time job, like you kind of take those things for granted, and you kind of have to go away to kind of realize how lucky you are sometimes.
And what kind of things are you doing at the moment? Have you got another project up on the horizon?
Yeah, so we're selling Poster Boys at the moment, and it's looking like it's going to get a North American distribution for spring 21. That's the current plan, and then in the meantime, we're developing two other projects. One is by a director called Alicia Sexton that I'm going to produce, and then another one. It's another film that Ryan attached, and the script is with him at the moment, but he hasn't got back to me. So I'm feeling a bit anxious about that.
How old is Ryan again?
He's 12 going on 13, I think. He gets taller and older and more cynical every time I see him.
Is he holding out for more money, or?
I think it's a power play. I think, when we were shooting, he started realizing he had a bit of control here and there, and like he'd be like, Dave, I think we have the coverage, let's move on. And he'd say things like this, or he would know that if he saved his performance for his close-up, that we'd have to use that more. So he'd be there in scenarios acting with Joe Rooney and stuff, and it'd be kind of a dead little performance. And then you'd come to his close-up and it was like just magic. And you'd be like, how do you know these tricks? Like, what old fart has been telling you how to control the lens?
It was a pleasure to find a film. We've been looking for comedies, especially this year. So we were really happy when we found Poster Boys, and it's a charming film. So I want to say congratulations, and yeah, look forward to the next one. And we're going to be screening all over Australia. So get on to your cousins and your friends and let them know. But yeah, we'll be screening all over this vast land. The Kilkenny scenes will be seen. So thanks very much. Yeah, thanks very much for taking the time to chat with us, and all the best for the next projects, Dave.
Great, thanks very much, Enda. Best luck at the festival.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.